My name is Valarie T, and I am a myeloma and breast cancer survivor. I like to call myself a warrior, fighting a good fight every day. So I was diagnosed with multiple myeloma back in 2015. Very shocking diagnosis. I had never heard of multiple myeloma. At the time of my diagnosis, I just told that it was an incurable blood cancer, and I was very afraid because when you hear incurable, you million things will go through your mind. Um, so I was diagnosed at my local oncologist, and at the prompting of my family, I decided to come to CTCA for a second opinion, and I'm so grateful that I did make that decision. It was coming to CTCA for that second opinion. I made the decision to stay and utilize that facility as my treating facility. But when I came to the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, it was at the prompting of my family members. At the time that I was diagnosed, I had moved to the Midwest. So all of my family was still in a different part of the country. And at that time, I was seeing a lot of commercials on television for Cancer Treatment Centers of America. Never thought that I would actually call the number and make an appointment to see one of the doctors there. But lo and behold, it ended up happening. Um, when I went to see the doctors at CTCA, I just felt at peace. I love the holistic approach to everything, that all of my doctors would be under one roof. I love that fact. Now, I did have to travel. I was about an hour, 30 minutes from the facility. So that's something I had to take in consideration as well, going back and forth because I was having to go for weekly treatments. And that didn't bother me. I knew that this was the right place for me to be. Um, so when I came to CTCA, as I said, it was for a second opinion. I had already started to receive treatment with my local oncologist, which it made me very, very sick. So by the time I got to CTCA, I was in pretty bad shape. And I ended up having to be admitted into the hospital. I spent a week in the hospital. And in that week's time, I met so many doctors that was going to be a part of my care team. They literally came into my room, explained to me what was going on, why I had to be admitted into the hospital, and why, I had to stay there for a while to actually get better. It was through that visit that's when I knew that this was the place for me. They just took very good care of me. Not only the doctors, but the assistant that were there. I fell in love with every aspect of it, and I continued to treat with A. Um, I did have a hiccup when it came to insurance. When it was time for me to have my stem cell transplant, unfortunately, my insurance would not cover it at CTCA. So I did end up having to go to another facility to do the stem cell transplant. But as soon as I was able, I did return to CTCA, and my continuity of care, everything just picked right back up, and I was so happy about that. Uh, just a couple of years later, along came the breast cancer diagnosis. I was diagnosed locally at my local oncologist, but I did come to CTCA, saw Dr. Stitcher and Dr. Farrington for second opinions. Um, and I decided to, at that time, it was better for me to treat locally, with the thoughts of having to go through radiation every day. I decided to treat locally. But I still continue to come to CTCA to see, uh, my stem cell doctors, Dr. A and Dr. Roudet, continue to take good care of me while I was, in a sense, on another journey. I do call these journeys because, it's just like you're going along and then boom, something happens. But I call them journeys. They are people have told me it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So just sit back and enjoy the ride, and that's what I have been doing. Um, Throughout the process, I became a cancer fighter, part of the cancer fighters community, and I love that connection. Just the connection with other cancer fighters, provide encouragement, um, inspiration, just to have somebody to share your story with. So I am part of the Cancer Fighters CareNet, and what that we're kind of ambassadors for the hospital. When newer patients, are thinking about coming to the hospital and they want to reach out and talk to a patient, that has a similar experience, same cancer diagnosis, um, they kind of reach out, and it's one-to-one mentorship. We tell them about the hospital and answer any questions that they may have, but it's really about letting them know, um, the good things about the facility and what they can expect if they do decide to treat at CTCA. But it's just an amazing place. From the time you check in at the front desk, the individuals that check you in, they are friendly, they are caring, and the more you come, they get to know you by name, and they just greet you with a smile when they see you coming there. So from the front desk to uh, the lady at the gift shop, she's so sweet. All of the nurses, they take really good care, and that's one thing that I just it just sticks in my head. But when I do come back for my periodic checkups, it's always a smiling face that greets the phlebotomist. I always joke with phlebotomists. I've got bad veins, so when they come in, it's like, okay, we got to get this done today, Valerie. Come on. So it's everybody at the facility. The workers in the cafeteria are always friendly and willing to help you. Um, Abby, Dawn, and Angela over at the Cancer Fighter Corner, and Robbie. Robbie's always over there as well, but they're just amazing individuals who care for people with cancer. When I'm at the facility, I don't feel like a cancer patient. I feel like I'm coming to a facility to have a visit with my doctor, hang out with some friends, have some fun, check out the karaoke corner, every now and then there's a nice ice cream social going on. So it's things that make you feel good, and not like, oh, I'm coming here to get my infusion, or I'm coming here to get treated today. It's not like that. And that's what I enjoy about CT. I do want to share this story. When I was diagnosed, I did have my mom came up come to a couple of appointments with me. And this is when the facility was, the new facility had not been built yet. But she went down into the cafeteria and she met this couple from Arizona. I think they were from Arizona. No, it was New Mexico. And they just connected. My mom was very upset and distraught and overwhelmed, as was I. But she connected with this couple that had been coming to CTCA for several years. And they told her about all of the great things. And I can remember my mom came back, she came back upstairs to me. I was upstairs getting treatment. But she came back upstairs. She had this big smile on her face. She had some tears in her eye, but she was smiling as well. And she said, I met this couple down there, and they just shared, and I just feel so much better. She said, after talking to them, I know that you're going to be okay. You're in the right place where you're going to be okay. So, it's even that whole the family approach to things. Um, they look out for your family. Uh, and that's one thing that I can appreciate as well. Because after a couple of visits, even though my family could not be here with me regularly as I went through treatments, um, they knew that I was in good hands, with the doctors and with the facility and everything. And one thing that I do want to share about the facility, and as I alluded to earlier, this is why I decided to, seek treatment at CTCA. Everything was under one roof. I could get my cancer care. Uh, if I needed to talk to a chaplain for emotional support, they were just one floor up or one floor down. They would come by and visit with you. You can go up and visit with them. Um, there was the mind body. I had someone that I could connect with there that could help me if I needed someone to talk to. I even tried the Reiki. I tried acupuncture, physical therapy. Everything was here. If I needed it, I didn't have to go to another building or another facility to get that. And um, that was so helpful. It relieved a lot of stress, a lot of unnecessary, having to travel. It was all in one place, and I love that. I even got a massage. When I needed it, that service was available to me, and I took advantage of that as well. And one of the things that I really appreciate at CTCA is, as you go through this cancer journey, most people lose their hair. Um, Maria over at the salon was just amazing, with, helping me find the right wig that worked for me, helping me find the right, if there were some days I didn't want to wear the wig. So she was amazing with helping me find the right chemo beanies and scarves and things of that nature. Uh, and having my wig style. Sometimes you get a wig and it may not be uh, the way you want it. She did an amazing job at styling my wig, um, all at one place. So I didn't have to go here and go there to do this. And that was the beauty of UPCA. And that's why I stick with them. Yes, I do have to drive an hour and a half to get to the facility, but it's worth it. Every single mile is worth it, in my opinion. When you feel good about yourself, you are going to respond better. Attitude is everything as you're going through these treatments, and no portion of it is to be overlooked. Losing your hair is a big deal, and you can't just overlook that. You have to take time to acknowledge that and do what you feel is best for you, um, in that instant. As you're on this cancer journey, don't be afraid to ask for help. It can be hard at first, particularly if you've never ever had to ask for help before, but don't be afraid. There are people out there that want to help you. They just don't know how to help you. So speak up, let your voice be heard. Let people know what you need. They're there to support you.